Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back for our isometric mobility and core day. Lots of core in this series, in this set, these 4 weeks. So we're in our repeats. This is our 5th week, so it's a new week, new exercises after the last 4 weeks. We are going to be on a 1-minute timer, and we're going to be doing some, like I said, isometric holds and mobility sets. So just before we get started, let's go ahead and take a little bit of a wider base of support. Hinge over your legs, let your legs be nice and long, and then bend into one knee and then the other. So this is a nice little pelvic shift. So the pelvis should stay pretty stable, pretty flat across, and you're just getting your hips to move within that pelvis. And then you can go ahead and stabilize, grab around one calf with both hands and then twist. And then we're going to go to the other side, grab around the calf and twist. All right, go ahead and turn to the front of the mat. Left leg is forward, right leg is back. Let yourself kind of bounce in your hip flexor opening position. Get that back hip flexor open. I have an 8-kilogram kettlebell I'm going to stick with for today. Next week, maybe. All right, we're going to slide forward and back. I'll decide to go up. I'm going to see how today goes. This is about connecting with the body, allowing yourself possibly a little bit more of a relaxed day. I have the expectation that things will burn, but that they're going to kind of be a slow burn, and that we're going to allow ourselves some mobility time as well. Switch to the other side if you haven't. Sometimes I forget if I said switch or not. Okay, so we are not going to have transition time. I'll give you some heads up on what's coming. We're going to do an iso tailbone tuck. So we're going to be holding the bell overhead in an isometric hold, and then the tailbone will kind of go up and down. So this is going to be almost like an itty bitty reverse crunch. Then we're going to do a pelvic rotation. So we're going to hit up 30 seconds on one side and then 30 seconds on the other. From there, we're going to go into a bear hold and then scorpion switches. So we'll be switching side to side. And then we're going to do a Samson isometric hold with an overhead hold with the bell. 1 minute on one side, it's going to be a lot. 1 minute on the other, and then we're going to do a weighted hip opener with our bell, 1 minute per side. Then we're going to switch on into a full, kind of more focused core and ab set. I'm going to see what time we have left after all of that and decide how much more we're going to add in, if any. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. 1 minute, you're going to have that tailbone tuck overhead hold. So I'm going to let you go ahead and lie down, grab your bell. You can obviously use the dumbbell as well. Ready, set, and go. So arms are just held overhead right until you kind of feel that rib cage grab. Keep your feet flexed back, your knees together. Work from the back, the upper back, and then grab that tailbone and just little itty bitty tuck. Yep, they're burning. Slow burn, little add up. Have control. So try not to hoist with momentum, but scoop with flexion. Time. Set your bell down. Set your foot across your knee. So rotate to the side and then come back up. Arms are out wide. Keep your left foot right where it was. Keep your right shoulder anchored into the ground and push your right knee away from your torso. Gentle contraction through the core and switch. Right leg down, left leg crosses. After this, on the timer, so make sure that right foot is at hip width. At the timer, we're going to flip over and do an isometric hold, bear hold, for 1 minute. Enjoy this stretch. This is my tight side. I have to watch where I hold the tension. So when you have that tighter side, Your body wants to hold tension. Try to link that tension with exhale. Okay, flip it over and see if you can get into that move a little better. All right. Find traction between your hands and toes. Your back should be parallel to the ground. Elbows pulled back toward your thighs. Pull your hands back toward your toes. Find your pelvic floor. Get those Kegels going as well. That's a deep core flexion. Inner outer thighs grab and wrap. Elbows spiral back towards your knees. Just a little different than a plank, in my opinion. 10 seconds, and we're going to scorpion. So you're going to have your belly on the ground. Arms are going to be out wide. One leg kicks up and over. 3, 2, and 1. Belly on the ground. Arms out wide. Left leg up and over. And then the other side. So we get to roll back and forth. If this is uncomfortable for you, on your chest or whatever, then hold one side. You can also come up and do your thoracic rotations from hands and knees. Good stretch through the shoulders, the chest, and the back. After this, we're going to hit that Samson lunge with our overhead hold. And then we're going to go straight into a hip slide on that side. Then we'll get our minute on the other. I think it'll be a little more doable. And we won't lose too much transition time that way. All right, time. So I'm going to start with my right leg back, my right arm holding, left leg forward. Find your lunge position. Now traction again. Pulling the front heel back, back heel or back toe forward. Neutral, pelvis and spine. Dig into the legs. Make sure you can see your big toe right inside the knee. Relax through the neck. Square off the hips. Front hip pulls back. Back hip pulls forward. Lots of flexion. Check in with your breath. Time. Drop onto that knee. Open your left foot out. Hold your bell right underneath and then slide over. Now I don't get much range because it doesn't feel good to push on the inside of that kneecap, but it's still good for the hip. So the bell helps hold your pelvis in place. But just let your arms hang long. Hold that bell right underneath your pubic bone. Double check the core. Allow that hip to open. Slide over and push back. 3, 2, and 1. Okay? Switch. Now your left arm holds the weight. Right leg forward, left leg back. Find that left hip tucking under. Neck is relaxed. Wrist is strong. Woo. Good hip flexor opener. Remember, we want to find traction between the front heel and the back toe. Lifting nice and high. Squaring off the hips. 10 seconds. Hold flexion and support. Time. Come down onto the ground. Whew, and open that foot out to the side. And then you're going to get your hip opener this way. Slide out. Core strong. Open chest. Find the range that feels safe and comfortable for you. Keep that going. Get that inner thigh stretch, your supporting side. 3, 2, and 1. All right. Get rid of that bell. Come to your hands and knees. I'm going to go into a couple cat-cows. So make sure shoulders are over wrists, knees underneath the hips. Pull the chest forward. Inhale. Exhale and round. Big opening through the chest. Feel that tailbone tuck under, belly button pull in. This is good for your back as well as just lengthening the abdominals. As crazy as it seems, we need to get into that position where you let the abs get a nice little stretch. 2 more. From here, we're going to go into tick-tock planks. If you don't do planks, you can do a bird dog. So stay on your hands and knees and extend that opposite arm and leg. So we're going to go 10 per side. Make sure that you're in your full flexed plank position. Take your time, rotating side to side, making sure the upper back is staying stable and the low back is staying stable. So your mid back is taking the rotation. 6, 7, take flexion through your rotation all the way to the drop. And 10. Perfect. All right. From here, we're going to go to our sides. You're going to get your side plank with your hip dip. If you need to stay on your knee, that's totally fine. We are going to be going hip abductions in a minute. Stack up the hips. We're taking our time, getting good setup, good alignment. 4, trying to stack up the hips. 6, and not rotate. 8, 9, 10. Other side. Find your stack first. Make sure everything's all lined up. Then dip and lift. Okay, rotating back to the ground. We're going to hit a body saw. If you have your TRX up, you can always throw your feet into that, make it a little more challenging. All right, so we're going to hover back, making sure the hips stay in line with the shoulders. Forward and back. Nice and slow. When you are extended away from the elbows, that's where you want the biggest tuck through the pelvis, biggest flexion through the glutes. Last one. 10. All right. Next up, we're going to do a side plank with a rotation. Again, you can go onto a supported side plank, have your knee on the ground on your lower side. Otherwise, you're going to hit up your side plank and you're going to pick up your leg, tuck it in, and rotate. So 1, 2, 3. Flexion through that core. Lots of support going on in the lower leg. 9 and 10. Did you catch we got some little hip mobility snuck in there as well? Fun stuff. Whew. Okay, nice high plank, other side. Here we go. Rotate. 2, 3. 7, 8, 10. Whew. Those are tough. All right, next up, hand taps. And then we get to do a little bit more mobility. Okay, so elbows back down on the ground. 10 per side. Our goal here is to not allow the hips to shift. You can go back into a bird dog, a bear pose, if these don't work for you. 4, keep those hips tucked under, glutes strong. 5. How still can you keep those hips? 9. 10. Okay, we're gonna hit up back extensions, which should feel super nice after all of that ab grab. Open your feet out just a little wider. Hands are underneath your shoulders. Flex your glutes to protect your back. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale and lower. We're gonna go to 20. That's 3. 2. Good. Neck is relaxed. Good stretch on the back. You got a little tricep grab, little glute grab. Make sure that your neck is staying relaxed. Feeling that upper back. Get some nice stretch. Back extension. We don't get into it much. 2 more. And 2. All right, push yourself up and back. Drive your hips back. Take that nice little stretch. All right, flip over. We're going to get 20 in and outs, and then a happy baby. Then I think the way I want to run this one is we'll go back through our isos and mobility, and then we'll get our full stretch. All right, scoop the belly. If these don't work, you're going to do your dead bugs. 4. Trying to scoop through that core. 8. There's 10. Pushing the low back toward the ground. 18, 19, 20. All right, lie it back. Hands inside the legs. Pull the feet down. Just stay here for a second, pulling the knees down to the ground. Your feet are flexed. Should get a nice inner thigh pull. Good stretch on those hips. And then the low back, you feel nice and pulled toward the ground. Now shift side to side. So you kind of just drive one heel to the ground, then the other, one knee. All right. Now, let's go ahead and get back into it. We're going to do those tailbone tucks. Ready? And go. Tailbone tucks with that isometric overhead hold. And then we're going to do our pelvic rotations. Lots of core today for sure, but should be utilizing a lot of other foundational muscles, supporting muscles. That shoulder girdle here, our core, not putting too much load on the neck, shoulders, or triceps. Relax your neck, engage your upper back. Keep that low back pulling toward the ground. Time as your hips lower. Okay, crossed ankle over the knee. Rotate to the side. Making sure that stabilized foot on the ground is staying anchored. And then the opposite shoulder staying anchored. Feels so good on your back. All right, switch it up. Other foot. Next up, we're going to have our bear hold and scorpion stretch. Reach across that opposite arm. Time. All right, flip over, bear and scorpion. Suction cup those knuckles, those palms. Make sure you're making a perfect box. Shoulders over the wrists, knees under the hips. See if you can tell if your pelvis is stable, neutral. A lot of us have one side that likes to dip down. We have no idea. Find traction. Trying to scrunch your mat together between your hands and toes. Time. Okay, belly down, arms wide. Kick your left leg up and over. Maybe just hold it instead of going back and forth. That's fine. Roll back in. Kick your other leg up and over. Oh, that's pretty good. Guessing our halfway point. Let the weight of that knee just pull you over. I like moving back and forth, but it's a little uncomfortable on the chest. I don't even have much up there. Oh, relax the neck. Okay, next up is that Samson hold. 3, 2, and 1. All right. I'm going to start on my second side. Right leg forward, left leg back. Your amount of flexion is up to you. Breathing through the work is extremely effective in holding the position a little longer, working through the pain. time. Sometimes it's good, to not know when it's going to be over. You just decide to hold. As you slide, make sure the knees tracking over those toes. Always, always. Man, those get my heart rate too. Slide, flex, come back. 3, 2, and 1. Other side. Come on, first. Whew. Time. Oh, that rush. Rush to the legs. Slide in and out. Good job. Keeping that neutral pelvis. Relax the toes. Ten seconds. 2, and 1. Whew. All right. Cross your right or your left knee behind your right. So your legs are in the middle of the mat. You just cross one foot behind. Open your feet apart. Sit back, reaching your arms forward. Settle as much as you can onto your sits bones, the bony part of your butt. Reach the arms forward. Extend through that side of the back. And then pull yourself up. And we'll go to the other side. So now cross your right knee behind the left. Left knee on top of the right. Open your feet apart. Sit back and down. Ooh. So with whatever knee is on the ground, that's where I feel more stretch. Also through that side of the back. So this in yoga is called cow face. Only thing I can figure is it's the bony part of the head, your cow face. Nubbies at the top of the eyes, on the top of the head. Okay, extend your left leg long. This is half cow face. And we're going to cross our right knee on top of the left extended leg. Pull the toe up on that left side. Sit nice and tall and then slowly slide forward. And you should really feel some intense hamstring stretch. And then before we switch to the other side, we'll take another twist. So left arm outside your right thigh. Plant your right fingertips behind for a little bit of help and traction. And then twist. So try to level off your hips. My right hip was raising. We got to sit that guy back on the ground. Lift up the chest. Rotate from that mid back. Don't forget where your rotation points come from. Okay, slide back around. We'll take one more. Stretch over that hamstring. Okay, other side. Extend that right leg long. Cross the left knee over. Right leg is flexed, so the back of the knee is pushing toward the ground. The toes are pulling back toward the knee. And then slide that chest over the thighs. Deep inhales. Deep exhales. All right, take your raise, plant your hands to the left side, drop the left hip into the ground, lift the chest up away from your thighs, and then rotate. Come back around and stretch over that hamstring again. Think back over the set and the week. How do you feel? What's been difficult? What are you looking forward to again? What are you not? All right. Fantastic job. Another day down, and I'll see you again tomorrow.